All right, welcome back. Welcome back to another live feed. It's gonna be the final live feed until tonight. Let's get into it. Fat Joe. You see in the thumbnail once you get a chance to check out this live feed. I can see one a series that I started during the 2 o'clock hour, top of the hour rather. The top 50 underrated rappers in hip hop history. It's a book that I wrote, self-published myself. You go on Amazon.com if you want to support the book. You don't have to. I'm not looking to sell no books, not like that. But it's from a book that I wrote myself, self-published myself, called The Top 50 Underrated Rappers in Hip Hop History. That's where it's at. It's a book that I wrote a decade ago. It's an old book, decade-old book, but that's what I wrote at the time, self-published. So why not use it for content to create my own channel? You know, best yet to come. I'm definitely gonna try to get more books from my Amazon.com website, from the Amazon.com website where my books are at, and use it for content. Just talk about what I had in mind with my thoughts and everything. You know, that's what it's about. So let's get into it. Fat Joe. I had him at number 49 at the time when I wrote the book. Now, Fat Joe was one of the few Latino rappers that was representing his community during the early 90s and beyond. The career of Fat Joe has been a growing, progressive one in terms of improving his lyrical skills whenever he released an album. Fat Joe comes from the South Bronx area of New York City. In the early hip-hop years of Fat Joe, he was Fat Joe the Gangster. He became affiliated with the DITC, Digging in the Crates crew. There's no DITC stood for Digging in the Crates. So Fat Joe made his solo debut in 1993 with the album Represent. The album was strictly gangster and hardcore. The song that stood out off the album was Flow Joe. The single was number one song on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Hot Rap Singles chart, Hot Rap Singles chart. Number one song. 2 years later, Fat Joe released Just One's Envy in 1995. The album was a solid effort that was clever. Fat Joe wanted to make his move as a self-professed king of New York as a kingpin. The songs that stood out were Success, Envy, The Blink Is Real, and Respect Mine. 3 years later, he released Don Cartagena in 1998. The songs that stood out was John Blaze, featuring Nas, Big Pun, Jadakiss, and Raekwon, the Wu-Tang Clan. Let Your Man Kent was another standout track and the title track. 2001, Fat Joe would achieve commercial success actually 25 years ago with Just One's Still Envy. He made a collaboration with R. Kelly, We Thuggin'. Then What's Love featuring Ja Rule and singer Ashanti. The album was a top 10 hit for Fat Joe. Overall, Fat Joe came a long way from being gangster and hardcore to following the lane of being part thug and part player. Fat Joe opened doors for rapper Big Pun, who would go down as the greatest Latino rapper ever. That's my outlook on Fat Joe for his underrated rapper. He is underrated, man. We talk about the greatest rappers. Do you mention Fat Joe? Probably not. But I think he's underrated. He's definitely improved from his beginning of his career to where he's at, right now. So I think that's necessary to put him on that list, underrated rappers. So that concludes this live feed. Be back at 6 o'clock, continuing this series of underrated rappers, the top 50 underrated rappers. I will continue to do this through my book that I self-published a decade ago. So it's some creative content that's worth creating from my own channel, the own book that I self-published myself. So I'm the source of what I wrote. You can check it out on Amazon.com if you want to. We might not like it because, it doesn't have any pictures of rappers inside the book. It's just no words. So I don't know if you want to be interested in that because you want to see graphics and stuff like that, certain things. But no, I didn't. When I came up with this book to create space and self-published it, I didn't have any graphic designers. I didn't have anything to collaborate with. It was just myself doing my thing at that time. So check it out. Be back at 6 o'clock for another installment of the 50 greatest, the 50 underrated, the top 50 underrated rappers in hip hop history. The top 50 underrated rappers in hip hop history. I continue on with this series tonight at 6 o'clock. I'll be talking about another rapper that I felt at the time and still feel to this day. I wrote that book a decade ago. Is underrated in the annals of hip hop. So till then, talk to you soon.